Hello there, and thanks for joining us on the Joy News channel. This is The Probe, and tonight I need to remind you that if a man dies in the marketplace, there's no need announcing his funeral. I learned these words from the Venerable ABA Fuseni, who's a Member of Parliament for Sagnerugu. But it is now clear from our side, and Joy News can confidently say, that the likes of ABA Fuseni and 15 others will not make it to Parliament next year. And he's not the only casualty tonight as we discuss the reorganization process of the Opposition National Democratic Congress after an extensive exercise to choose the next flag bearer and the next set of parliamentary candidates for the largest opposition party. And we start off tonight by talking about the one man who was the presumptive leader but is now confirmed to be the next leader of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, polling a significant vote of about 297,603 votes to get elected as the next flag bearer of the opposition political party. John Mahama was hitherto facing opposition from two other individuals. I'm talking about the man, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, who later on, just on the eve of the elections, withdrew, and his reasons we will digest tonight. But Kojo Bonsu maintained his confidence that he was the best choice for the NDC going into the next race. Unfortunately, he has not been able to make that. 3,181, very insignificant numbers. That's all he polled after the exercise, with John Mahama winning 98.9% of the entire votes cast for the presidential candidates. But the NDC will lose 16 others who are now serving as the incumbent MPs for the largest opposition party. And you see the names there. Kwabena Donko, quite a known face. He, of course, in the heat of the John Mahama administration, was serving at some point as the power minister. He's no longer returning to Parliament, and that's what we can confirm to you, having lost the Pro East seat. Then comes ADA Fuseni, who I was quoting earlier. Of course, a man full of proverbs, except that his words failed him at some point, and he was gasping for breath when the results were declared. But ADA Fuseni will not return to Parliament. We know of Thomas Dalu, who's for the Chenapaga area. There are more names here, including Samson Chiragia, who's from the Navrongo Central area. He's not returning to Parliament. Edward Bauer, the face of the Energy and Mines Committee of Parliament, on the minority side, one of the leading faces. He's no longer going to Parliament in the 2024 elections. And we have Alex Adomako, who's with the Secretary of Farm Plains area. He's also losing out. Wisdom Gidisu is also on the list from Karachi East. We have, of course, Beku Krenso for the Ekumfi area. Then comes Delasoa from the Pando constituency. She's not making it to Parliament again. We'll be speaking to her, finding out her side of the story as to what accounted to that tonight as we probe the matters. Augustine Teya for Bia West is also out. Then comes Angela Lote for Afajato South. She's also out of the race. We know of Peter Yao Aka for the Memphis Central, who will not be making it back to Parliament. And Christian Otute is also losing the Sege seat. Kwabna Mensa Woyome for Southtown is also out. Maxwell Lukuto is in. Tonight he's on the show. We'll talk to him. Then we have Sophia Akwaku. This story is interesting because for Sophia, she was representing the Domiabra Obom area and then made an attempt to capture another seat, interestingly, which is not within her constituency, the traditional one as we know it. Reasons accounting for that, best known to her. But the last, not the least on that very list that we have is Albert Aka Alu Zuga, who comes from the Gari area. So this is the full set as we have it. 16 individuals who will not be making it back to Parliament. But tonight on the program, we're asking that question. Is the NDC in a position to capture political power after completing its reorganization exercise? Join me as we probe the matters here on Joy 99.7 FM. For those of you who are listening to us on radio, on the Joy News channel, on myjoyonline.com, and on social media. Feel free to be a part of the show. Tell us what you think about these names leaving Parliament. And we'll speak to some of them, starting with Edem Agbana tonight. De La Soa is on the list, and others. We'll talk to them shortly after this. Please stay. Okay, so let's get to the action. And you've heard so many names. But in all of this, we're starting off from the parliamentary race. Because mind you, the NDC carried out what was known as the presidential and then the parliamentary primaries to choose the next set of individuals that will represent the party at the parliamentary level for the 2024 elections. And then we have the presidential. It's settled. John Mahama will be in the race. So we'll talk about John Mahama's chances shortly. Out of yesterday's exercise, the most outstanding for many has been the Ketu North area. You can talk about, yes, indeed, Sam George and how he managed to pull all those significant numbers. But Ketu South has a unique story because of one man, Edem Agbana, who initially, for many, was declared the winner, only for a recount to be called. When the recount was done, it appears that one ballot, which made him the victor, is in question now. But is Edem Agbana the likely winner, or can we confidently say that he is the next MP for the Ketu North area? So let's get to it. Edem is joining us tonight here on The Probe. We'll talk about the 16 names shortly. But Edem, thanks for joining us here on The Probe. Let's start off from the contest last night. What would be your brief description about the stiff opposition you were facing last night? And kindly unmute for me, Edem, so I can hear you.
Let me say good evening to all our cherished viewers, especially to the good people of Ketu North and members of the NDC in my constituency for the support they gave me throughout the contest. And I will also use the opportunity to congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for recording such a significant win across the country. My contest in Ketu North, yes, was a keenly contested election, but I'm grateful to God for granting us victory. And I must say, it was a well-deserved victory that was earned on the back of hard work, on the back of perseverance, on the back of a decent campaign, on the back of genuine love from the good people of Ketu North.
Well, by descent, I can't associate with the area, but there's no special interest here. I'm just interested in what played out last night. Just one vote having the ability and tendency to dislodge your dream of becoming the MP for the area. Has that issue been settled now? Have you spoken to your contenders? Are they all up for it, that indeed they accept the outcome of the results?
I must say that the issue is yet to be settled officially, but I believe and I know I have won the elections, and there is really no issue to be settled, because I want to take the opportunity to explain to all of you what really happened. After the count of votes, I got 360 votes. My closest contender had 359 votes. His agents requested for a recount. That was granted, and the figures remained the same. They requested for another recount of 9 votes. That was granted, even against my agent's permission, but that was also granted. And I still had 360 votes. After that, my agent signed the pink sheet, which recorded the 360 votes. only for a challenge to come up now about the validity of the ballot papers. So they decided to check whether or not all the ballots were stamped or were properly stamped. And according to EC officials, after that check, 2 of the ballot papers recorded in my favor did not have the stamp.
I see.
Now, we decided to confirm whether or not those ballots corresponded with the serial numbers of ballots issued from that booklet. And it was confirmed. So it means those 2 ballot papers were not foreign materials, because a confirmation was done. It means that if these ballot papers were without a stamp, it was as a result of either recklessness on the part of an EC official or a deliberate attempt by an EC official to mar the process.
And I don't intend to cut you at this point, but what is the regulation saying about what happens when, of course, a ballot paper has not been stamped and checked by an EC official?
What the regulation says is that, when there is overvoting, in a case of overvoting, then you proceed to check the validity of ballot papers to see whether or not foreign materials were entered or were brought into the ballot box. But in this case, there is a confirmation that those ballots were actually issued by EC officials. And we corresponded, we were able to check, and it was confirmed. How do you punish a candidate or the voter for the abysmal job done by an EC official? There is a winner in Ketu North. I will do everything possible to protect the mandate of the people given me yesterday.
Well, these are your words, except to say that, Edem, your closest contender does not believe same. In fact, it's beginning to trigger a lot of conversations. We've seen, for instance, the latest update on this, that your regional executives have been asked to come to the national capital, Accra, for a dialogue on this. Are you willing to go for a rerun? Are you willing to go for a rerun if that is what it would take to have you confirmed as the MP for the area?
How do I go into a rerun when I have won the elections? For what? How do I go into a rerun when I have already won the elections? There is a clear winner in the elections, and the winner is Edem Agbana. I will not, and I must say this on record, I will not allow anyone to steal the ballots were not issued by me or by my team. It has been confirmed that the serial number shows that those 2 ballots were taken from the booklets as the EC conducted.
If you're not scared, Edem, if you're not scared of your legitimacy, your popularity, and how your message resonates with the grassroots, why not simply accept this for a rerun to prove that indeed clearly you're the next parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Ketu North?
What is it about fear? Well, it's 8 of us in a contest, and I came up on top. I have been part of very competitive elections, and by God's grace, I've won all. If there was a tie or the need for a rerun of the elections, and it is legitimate, I will gladly submit myself to same. But when I have seen, and everyone can confirm that I am victorious, how do you want me to go submit myself to a process and say I'm trying to prove a point that I'm not scared? It means that as Edem Agbana, as parliamentary candidate, I will not be able to even protect the mandate that the people have given me. I wouldn't have been, the point must be made. I won the elections. I am not the one that issues the ballot papers. I won the elections. It was clear. Everyone and our agents signed against that. And again, the EC officials engaged in another act of illegality where, without any proper consultation, cancelled the initial figures as written. And we're trying to force the agents to sign against it. As I speak to you, I am the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Ketu North. I have received congratulatory messages from most of my contenders We were 8 in the contest. Many of them and their agents, their campaign managers have called to congratulate me. There will not be a rerun in Ketu North. And that point must be made, that I will go every length legally to protect the mandate of the people. No individual can sabotage the victory, can sabotage the mandate. They cannot circumvent the mandate of the people as delivered yesterday in Benin. I won the elections. There is a clear winner, and no in that point must be well made. They will not, and there is never going to be a runoff in Ketu North NDC parliamentary primaries.
I guess this is not the way you would want to start off as the MP, if indeed you were elected for the area, by creating much more division when your predecessor is not known necessarily for that. You would want to extend an olive branch, say, to your closest contender and to all those who were part of the exercise, just to get them on board. You need them for the next elections, you agree? You need them for 2024.
Standing up for what is right, it doesn't mean you are creating division. Fighting for what is truthful is not creating of division. In fact, if there is anything that divides us, it is an attempt by the Electoral Commission to subvert the will of the people. If there is anything that divides us, it is an attempt to rob me and my team of the victory that we fought. I am a very, very responsible leader. And throughout my campaign, I conducted a very decent, very modest campaign. I got the support of the people, and they voted for me to win. I will protect their mandate for them. I'm not sure in 2024, the NDC is looking for a parliamentary candidate who will freely give away victory even when everything shows that he or she has won. I'm not sure the people of Ketu North are looking for a timid soul as their parliamentary candidate. If they were looking for a timid soul, they wouldn't have voted for me. I fought, we worked very, very hard. And like I said, nobody can take the victory away from us. We have won. All of these discussions about rerun and what have you, I find them to be some jokes of a sort.
I see.
The NDC in Ketu North has decided Edem Agbana is the winner. Now go every length legitimately to take that victory.
Have you started speaking to national leadership of the NDC? Because they will be crucial in this, in bringing finality to the disagreements that we're witnessing within your area. Have you spoken to any of the regional executives?
I have received calls from national executives about a meeting somewhere later in the week. I will avail myself to the meeting, but I am saying that even before I go to the meeting, I have won the elections, and it is clear. I don't know why I would want to think that it would take somebody else. I mean, the victory is clear. How do you want a candidate to be punished for an EC official not performing his or her duties well?
Whether she's a pet mom, a plant mom, or the mom who raised you, celebrate Mother's Day this year with the gift she'll use all the time. Get up to $400 off Peloton tread, row, guide, or bike packages, and choose from accessories like our heart rate band, row mat, cycling shoes, and more. This is the perfect gift for mom to explore what gets her moving. Whether she has 5 or 20 minutes, she can choose from classes like techno rides, country walks, or an 80s row. All access membership and guide membership separate. Offer ends May 14, 2023. Excludes Peloton tread, row, bike, and bike plus basics, and Peloton guide standalone. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
It's Macy's Mother's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every mom with your coupon or Macy's card. Like dresses, shoes, and more she'll love, 25 to 40% off. Or shop specials like 55 to 65% off robes, towels, and more bath accessories. And fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands like Carolina Herrera, Estee Lauder, and more. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Scott for Scots here. A good track can feed the soul. And while this might be music from the heavens, it's not gonna feed your lawn. If your yard needs some life, then you need Scott's Turf Builder. You just put it down once now, then again this summer to thicken your lawn and get it growing strong. Ooh, that's some lush lawn vibes right there.
Get a bag of Scott's Turf Builder today. It's guaranteed or your money back.
Feed your lawn. Feed it.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
It will not happen. I have won the elections. And you see, a lot of people are thinking that there's the purported news of rerun as a result of recounting the ballot. But that is not the case. What happened was that after even the several recounts that they requested, I won with a single vote. The rerun that they are claiming is because they claim an EC official has not stamped my ballot, two of my ballot papers. Am I the one that issues the ballot papers? Even when it has been confirmed that the serial numbers shows that these ballots really were issued by AC officials, you want me to take responsibility for that? Well, there are several cases, decided cases, even in our courts, about similar instances. And the ruling has been that because it was established that those were not foreign materials, the candidate cannot be punished for saying. We shall go every length to protect the victory, the mandate that the people have given me. There will not be a runoff in Ketu North.
All right. That's Edem Agbana for us. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's just the start of what we're about to witness within the Ketu North area. Very passionate about the victory, as he's pointing to, but we understand there's a meeting scheduled on that score. Edem will be part of that meeting tonight. He's got everyone waiting. There are more persons joining us. We have the MP for Pando, De La Soa, who it appears the delegates have not renewed her mandate. She's joining us via Zoom. Thank you. And it's amazing to speak to you on a Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. And you've not been re-elected. How does that make you feel in the first place? Hello, De La Soa? And kindly unmute so we can hear you speak. Yeah, because for now, we're not hearing your audio. So if you could... Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So your question again?
Yes. So how are you feeling now, knowing that you will not be going to Parliament, despite your attempt to seek the opportunity from the delegate?
Yeah, I think when the delegates speak, you have to listen to them. And I'm at peace with their decision, and I'm okay with it. I don't think I have any problem with it at all.
You've been MP for the area at least not once, which means that you had some plans. Have all that been cut short, and how do you intend to work with the newly elected parliamentary candidate to secure victory going into the 2024 elections?
Yeah, I did have some plans. I'll still see what can be done, which one is still feasible and which one is not. And then I'll try and do which one is feasible. Yes, I need to work with PC-elect. Unfortunately, yesterday I attempted to congratulate him, and I was stopped from congratulating him, which was strange. But I hope going forward we'll be able to work together to secure victory for the NDC.
Pointing to, of course, reasons best known to them, just as we've seen in other constituencies. But in your case, what is your story?
I didn't hear the first part of. I just heard, what is your story? So if you can repeat what you were asking.
No, I was just talking about the fact that many are pointing to reasons why possibly they have either won or lost. In your case, your story, what do you feel accounted for that?
It's multifaceted. I think, people, maybe after you've been there for a period of time, they get used to you, and the grass is always greener outside, or the perception is that the grass is always greener outside. So I'll say that that's one of the things that probably accounted for it. And then also, we use the delegate system, and then you find delegates saying, yes, you've done this, you're instrumental in having schools built, having a bridge, having this, you've done that, but what have you done for us as individuals? So you see that the individual factor is very high when it comes to delegate elections, and that's what I experienced in this past election, which was yesterday. However, what they decided is what they want, and if that's what they want, I'm at peace with it, and we will move on from here. Thank you.
It's of course many wondering if you would make a comeback or this will be the end of the road.
I haven't given it a thought yet. It's just happened yesterday. I'm taking it easy. I'm relaxing. And then I'll pick up my thoughts going forward. But right now, I haven't thought of whether there'll be a comeback or whether to hang my boots.
And of course, John Mahama has been elected as your presidential candidate. Don't forget, you are very, of course, confident that he'll be making a comeback. In what ways do you intend to contribute to that?
Oh, definitely. I'll contribute my quota. I'll do everything possible in my constituency, and what also I can do outside my constituency to ensure that he becomes the president come 2025. It's a must. And we all have to join forces, work together, and ensure that that does happen. So, in my little corner, right here in Kpando, I'm still in Kpando, right here in Kpando, we'll do whatever we can to ensure that we give him the highest of votes come 2024, 7 December.
Watching us now on television, what's your message to the grassroots?
My message to the grassroots is it's not going to be easy. We need a united front. We need to come together to fight the bigger battle ahead. This one that just passed is an internal battle, but there's a bigger one out there, and we can only win when we are one with one voice. So that's the message I have for the grassroots, that we need to be united to be successful going forward.
I want to bring in, of course, one man who, thank you very much, Delaso. We'll, of course, reconnect definitely in the coming days as you continue your parliamentary duties. But I also want to bring in one man who staged a comeback and yet was not successful. After leaving Parliament in 2016, Ras Mubarak was hopeful that he would cling on to the Kumbungu seat once more. Unfortunately, that has not happened. Ras, welcome to the show. It's good to be talking to you this time round as a parliamentary aspirant. It's becoming clear that the delegates do not want you to come back. What do you feel is accounting for that?
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. Let me salute delegates in my constituency and indeed all over the country for the manner in which the voting was conducted in a very peaceful and cordial manner. I'm a sportsman, so in sports you win some, you lose some, and this is one of the elections that we have to put behind us and look to the future. The task ahead of us is to get the party to be elected, in 2024. That would include presidential and parliamentary. There's a lot of work to be done. If you look at the votes of the NDC in Kumbungu, the MPP's votes appreciated greatly from under 6,000 to well over 18,000. So our work is well cut out for us. And we will do everything to ensure that the seat remains an NDC seat. But in terms of what accounted for it, obviously, you go into a football match. Sometimes the strategy works, sometimes it doesn't. And once it does not work, you put that behind you and go back to the drawing table.
Interested in the why, first of all, why? And you've done that assessment yourself, I believe, by now.
Well, so I'm hugely popular in Kumbungu, I must tell you. Hugely popular, but don't forget also that the delegate system, it's a very small electoral college, where a lot of factors, dynamics tend to play, and I'm not interested in what went wrong at the moment. The focus is to pick up the pieces, and continue the journey. There's a great, which is to get our party elected to form the next government and get a majority in parliament. And we will do everything humanly possible to make that happen. If it were an expanded system, for instance, where every registered member of the party were to vote in Kumbungu, trust me, I would not have had to even campaign to be elected because of my own popularity in my constituency. But it's complex dealing with the smaller electoral colleges, and I think in the future it is something that the party would want to look at, and not just the NDC as a political party, but all parties in the country. We would want to. It's important to give an opportunity to every member of all these contests, to have a say on who becomes what in the respective political parties, but for now, this is what we have. Don't forget, I went to Parliament through the expanded electoral college. So I'm an ardent, I'm an ardent, advocate of the expanded electoral college, largely because of its benefits to the party and country. And clearly with smaller electoral colleges, a lot of things, tend to go amiss. But I'm glad about the way, I conducted my campaign. It gave me an opportunity to visit more than 70% of the delegates in Kumbungu in their respective homes. That gave me an opportunity to get to understand deeper the concerns and appreciate the things that we need to do to increase our votes in Kumbungu. For me, that would be a top priority at the moment.
I see. And for the presidential, you have any plans? What to do next? Of course, now you have a leader.
Absolutely. Congratulations to my big brother, John Mahama, for a convincing win. In Kumbungu, he garnered all the votes. He garnered all the votes. And that is quite exciting. I think that all members of our great party would have to rally behind, flag bearer Mahama now. The country is dying for change. The country has missed him so greatly. There are greater things for us to do in 2024. And don't forget, he'll be faced with candidates from the opposing side who are inexperienced. And it's quite risky for us to exchange experience for inexperience. President Mahama is deeply passionate about our country, very competent, and I would urge all Ghanaian voters that we should not make the same mistake we made in 2016 and subsequently 2020. Now we are faced with the results of, reposing our confidence in someone who wasn't experienced, but was given an opportunity to run the affairs of the country. And the verdict is that, there are problems, serious, very monumental challenges with our economy resulting from this same thing that we've been talking about time and again: inexperience, lack of competence, lack of courage to actually do the right thing for the country. One would expect that by now, government would have reduced its size. By now, we would see a reduction in some of the profligacy. Unfortunately, these things are still happening, and we are hopeful that not just members of the NDC, but Ghanaians would wholeheartedly rally around the NDC to get us back into government. And this is not also to downplay the fact that when we come in 2024, our government would be faced with serious challenges, but challenges that could be surmounted if we put more people who are experienced in government to help the president. And with President Mohammed's track record of work as president between 2013 and 2016, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that he will lead the promised land.
Ras, I need you to stay on with us. Later on, we'll be having an extensive conversation on the presidency and what happens in 2024. Just before I introduce my guest in studio, let me bring in Titus Bill, because Titus Bill has an interesting story. Was one time General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, and all of a sudden moved into politics when many of us were not expecting that. Titus, welcome to the program. Congratulations. Lambusie is now yours. How did it happen?
Good evening to our viewers, and thank you for having me on the program. And indeed, yes, thanks for congratulating me. And I would use the opportunity to thank my team and thank the delegates of Lambusie who have given me this opportunity to serve in this capacity, or as a lead person in the battle that we are going into. And also thank my other contenders for giving us a very good race that resulted in a very calm, peaceful election that hopefully is going to unite the party. But it's taking the grace of God, hard work, support of a lot of people to come this far. So it's not just my doing, but that of the entire party in Lambusie.
So were you planning this all this while when you were General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association?
I like your question. I have stated that, yes, I have been a member of the party. I have been contributing my quota for some time now, but I discharged my duties professionally. And so when I was General Secretary of the Medical Association, I acted in accordance with our rules, and I spoke the voice of the doctors in Ghana and not the voice of any political party. At some point in time, there has been a call by my constituents, by the party, by the youth, by the people of Lambusie in general, that I should come and serve them in this capacity. When that call was made, I had to take that decision. And when the decision was made, I decided to resign from the Medical Association, which you found to be surprising. Of course, I could not have made it any other way than at that time. Yes, but I've been working with the party for some time. I'm not new to the party. I have assisted the Lambuse district as a whole in different capacities. And I think the delegates were privy to this and decided to reward me by electing me. I have conducted several medical outreaches. I brought medical equipment to show up the health delivery in the district. In fact, my team are the first people to perform any form of surgery on Lambuse soil. Prior to our intervention, no surgical service was available in the entire district of nearly 50,000 people. And therefore, all these interventions and many others may have contributed to the delegates giving me this role.
But now you have a bigger task to fulfill, which will be for you to win the 2024 elections. Are you confident that you will win?
I am very confident. I am hopeful that I will get the support of all in our party. History has it that anytime the NDC is united, Lambuse is always ours. And anytime we have challenges, that is when we lose the seat. I appear to be the unifier. I am the youngest of all those who contested. I contested as the two senior colleagues of mine. I have treated them with a lot of respect and carried out my campaign with decorum. And I do not expect anything other than a smooth reconciliation. In fact, if you were there yesterday when our results were declared, you will notice the atmosphere. I went across to exchange pleasantries with the former MP, who was the one who came immediately after me in terms of the results, and he received me with a warm hug. And then the other candidate joined us. We took pictures together. The former MP, Honorable Edward Berry, has promised that he's going to throw his weight behind me and support our effort at uniting the party. So this is a clarion call to our followers to do same, so that we will have a united front. And once that is guaranteed, I think that with effort, we should be able to get the seats for Lambuse. Lambuse lacks a lot of development. Lambuse is perhaps the only district without any third road. Our educational system, the output is very poor, and there are no jobs. Our youth are sitting at home, and Lambuse needs a strong advocate. And it was my role in advocacy in various capacities for the Medical Association and other bodies that made the people call on me as a son of the land to come and play that role. That is why I'm confident that across the political divide, I will be given the nod to play this strong advocacy role that will hopefully bring some development to Lambuse.
I see. Grateful. Of course, the conversation is just starting. In the coming days, we'll see you here in Accra. Congratulations once again.
I'm grateful for having me. And let me just use the opportunity to once again thank our traditional rulers, thank my team, and thank my family, especially my wife, Dr. Vera Bayo, for being a strong pillar in all of this. I'm very grateful to you.
And we say Happy Mother's Day to her as well. Anyway, Doc, we'll see you again here in Accra. Let's move on now and talk about the presidential race. For those of you who are not aware of the outcome, of course, let's get that on your screens right now in terms of the voter margin. So John Mahama there on your screens, 297,603, representing 98.9% of the total votes cast. It's beginning to generate a lot of conversations. And of course, we know that going into that race, Dr. Kwabena Dufo was in that race. There was Kojo Bonsu, but Dr. Kwabena Dufo decided to opt out, saying that the exercise was fraught with some challenges. let's zoom in to the presidential race, because that's crucial for the NDC, which says that it wants to win the next presidential elections in 2024. Let's get to it then. I have joining us in studio Benjamin Kwashi, is of course Council of Elder, member of the NDC, and he is joining us. He's been to a number of polling stations. He's a member of the Diaspora Caucus as well. So they are crucial votes, crucial voice as well. And when that vote was cast at the headquarters, all of them declared their support for John Mahama. All the votes, nothing went to any of the other candidates. Then we have Antonio Ashinyo, who speaks for Dr. Dufo and his campaign as well. They withdrew on the eve of the exercise, claiming that it was fraught with some challenges. So just before I bring in, of course, Ben Kwashi, I want to hear from you, Antonio. You've monitored the exercise. Dr. Agbana Dufo himself has been all across a number of constituencies to monitor the exercise. Do you still hold that view that indeed the process was fraught with some challenges?
Into your viewers, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Forgive me, I'm a bit tired. Let me correct an impression. Dr. Dufo did not go around constituencies monitoring the election. Dr. Dufo indeed was in Setrafan Plains to support his son. That's the only place he was, and that was to support his son and brother. Do we still hold that view? Yeah, we do. We still hold that view that we were not satisfied with the photo album delegate register. We were not satisfied with the processes that the party attempted in using to resolve the matter. And after the time the party announced to go into the election, we were still in a 10-car meeting with the team. So we thought the party had not treated us fairly. Reason why, on principle grounds, Dr. Dufo pulled out of the race. And it's important to note that the infractions and anomalies that were talked about by Dr. Dufo were not denied by the party in any form. So we were not ready to accept until the correcting is being done. So as a matter of principle, Dr. Dufo decided to pull out of the race, and he did wish everyone well. In a statement, he did say that he was going to help in strengthen the grassroots for the 2024 election. So yes, we are not satisfied with the photo album electoral register, reason why he pulled out. I must emphasize that.
Same album was used for Kwabena Dufo Jr. Within that same such a front place area where the elections happened. He supervised this. He monitored the process, isn't it?
Who monitored the process?
Dr. Dufo was there, correct?
No, Dr. Dufo was there just to help his son. He did not get involved in the election. He didn't vote himself, and that should tell you. Dr. Dufo did not vote. Dr. Dufo was only there to support his son. And you already know that particular constituency, he has a lot of investments there. His brother is the current MP, and his son was contestant. So Dr. Dufo's presence was not to monitor the process in any way. I emphasize, Dr. Dufo did not vote in this election. He was there to support his son and brother, but particularly his son.
And when you say that he was not part of the exercise and yet was able to go to the constituency or the polling center, what was he there to do exactly? To just campaign or to do what exactly?
I've made it clear over and over. Dr. Dufo's son, Dr. Agbana Jr., the second, was a contestant in that race as a parliamentary candidate. Honorable Alex Adomakon, the current MP, is Dr. Dufo's brother. So Dr. Dufo was there to support his son. He did not participate in the electoral process. He did not vote anywhere. If you have a record of Dr. Dufo voting, you can let us know. He did not vote. But as a father, he was there to support his son, who is an adult, and decide what he wants.
Okay. So the overall assessment is that this exercise was still not free and fair, irrespective of the resounding victory of 98.9%.
It's important to note, we are not commenting. Dr. Dufo's team did not monitor the elections. We already pulled out. So in terms of speaking to the processes, I really don't have the competence to speak to because we did not monitor it. Dr. Dufo was on record to have pulled out and gave his reason. His reason was that he had identified infractions in the photo album delegate list that the party was going to use. The party indeed admits it and encouraged us in having a meeting. In fact, the day Dr. Dufour pulled out, he had a meeting with the Council of Elders and the party leadership. The agreement was that a technical team from all sides or all stakeholders should come together to resolve the issue. Also, at the time the party was announced that they were going to the polls on Saturday, which is 13th May, our team was at the party office to have that technical meeting. The technical meeting did not conclude on any resolution, and the election had to commence. So what Dr. Dufour did, as a matter of principle, irrespective of the investment he has made, irrespective of his commitment to the party, was to send that message as a matter of principle that he was still not satisfied and he cannot be part of a process that he had questioned. So in terms of the process on Saturday, Dr. Dufour has no commentary on it because we did not monitor it. We still stand by our statement that we have identified infractions in the voter register, and we pray and hope that subsequent elections, the party will have it correct, will have it right, and will vote with a photo album.
Okay. Edem, just hold on for us. Ras Mubarak is also with us. Just hold on. All of you, just hold on. Let me bring in Benjamin Kwasha. You've also monitored the process. He says that there's a significant challenge, and they believe that's part of the reasons why John Mahama is witnessing that significant or landslide victory of 98.9%.
Well,
it's too much for an individual, isn't it?
No, it's not. Blessed good evening to you and to our cherished viewers. I think I've always maintained this, that President Mahama has always been our presumptive leader, and I've always said that the good works of President Mahama precedes him always. We are happy with the margin that he won with. I believe that my good friend Antonio has also expressed the Dr. Dufour's comes challenges. We all heard him when he withdrew from the race, and I believe that, look, the NDC party at the end of the day has won. We all come together, we forge ahead. I'm happy. My good friend Antonio also indicated that Dr. Dufour is ready to work with the party, especially galvanizing the grassroots for a resounding victory in 2024. Look, the elections that the NDC went into was a very crucial one. It was crucial in the sense that we needed our base to come on board in decision making and ensuring that we choose a leader that we all wanted, a leader that we can all rally around. Fortunately for us, it's more than a resounding victory. President Mahama has been declared the winner. The party declared him. The Electoral Commission declared him. And I think this is the time for us to move on as a party.
I mean, it appeared at some point that almost all the structures of the party were tilted towards an individual. Is the concern of the Dufour team, for instance, the fact that they've raised...
Whether she's a pet mom, a plant mom, or the mom who raised you, celebrate Mother's Day this year with the gift she'll use all the time. Get up to $400 off Peloton tread, row, guide, or bike packages, and choose from accessories like our heart rate band, row mat, cycling shoes, and more. This is the perfect gift for mom to explore what gets her moving. Whether she has 5 or 20 minutes, she can choose from classes like techno rides, country walks, or an 80s row. All access membership and guide membership separate. Offer ends May 14, 2023. Excludes Peloton tread, row, bike, and bike plus basics and Peloton guide standalone. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
It's Macy's Mother's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every mom with your coupon or Macy's card. Like dresses, shoes, and more she'll love, 25 to 40% off. Or shop specials like 55 to 65% off robes, towels, and more bath accessories. And fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands like Carolina Herrera, Estee Lauder, and more. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Yes, please. For him to be on the ticket of the NDC. And then, well, if you doubt the Dufour campaign, the EIU report says your chances may be revitalized if you work with another candidate aside John Mahama.
Have you read the EIU report that came last month? I think they are moving from that trajectory.
Yes, but John Mahama appears to be a challenge for the party.
I'm going to speak to the issue of Kukubo, my brother who is a research officer for the Dufour campaign. Look, our approach is not to criticize. At this point, we have all seen that President Mahama has led the discussion. He has said he's going to work with everybody. So some of us will not come and sit here and apportion blames. But during one of the interviews you granted with Kukubo, when we were speaking about the court injunction and others, I heard you ask him, I think there's a journalist that asked him that, what is the solution? And he said the only solution was that the election should be postponed. Now, as a democratic person, if there are challenges that we have as a party, I don't think the solution is to truncate a process that it's geared towards winning power for us. John Mahama, nobody can say it's not what Ghanaians are looking for. It is people who are scared of him that make this argument. That
but
President
what's
Mahama,
the interest of EIU, for instance? The EIU is a think tank. They are saying your chances will be revitalized if you change the face you've been using since 2016.
We believe in the good works of President John Dramani Mahama. Over time, the EIU report keeps changing. The last report never said anything about the credibility or the persona of President John Mahama. It gives us, the NDC, the upper hand and says we will win the election. What is happening is that President Dramani Mahama is ensuring that he's telling Ghanaians what he would come and do. The mistakes he has made as a leader, he acknowledges them. And he says, look, I've been there before. I know how these things were when I was a president. And in fact, I call him a prophet of a sort, because I remember he said this thing to Bawumia, that if you've never been anywhere close to the presidency, certain comments you don't make. And today we are seeing it. The economic messiah that we all hailed him to be today has gone to sleep. And President Mahama knows what are the issues that needs to be addressed in this country. The current president we have has not got the willpower. He's not gotten the charisma to be able to do certain things that as Ghanaians we want. President Mahama is different.
Yeah, but there are lots of questions facing John Mahama. He would have to answer that.
Yes.
And explain to the people of Ghana before anything else happens.
President Mahama continues to answer these questions. President Mahama continues to tell us that, look, I did A, B, C. I remember in the issue of the tractors that he gave to farmers, he has come out clearly and said, upon hindsight, he feels that it was something that was not done right. He felt that there should be other means that these things are done. And in the days and the weeks and the year and the months to come, he will be able to engage the Ghanaian people and tell us exactly what he's going to do. But I can give you the assurance that whatever President Mahama says, he will definitely do.
98.9%.
Resounding.
I mean, who gets that in an election?
Well, so it means the total number of votes he garnered was 297,603. And it's historic.
It looks more or less like you're holding a cane and asking everyone to go ahead and...
If you had traveled with President Mahama on this tour, you realize that President Mahama went passionately to the people to ask for their votes. He could have gathered people in one cluster and say this constituency should come together, but he went to individual constituencies. This is President Mahama for you. The elections were free, fair. The delegates have spoken. The delegates have spoken the mind of the NDC party. And I think that we should all... Some people in the NPP are jittery. Some people, they cannot make the argument again that he got 93%. Now it's resounding, and it looks good.
Okay, I would want us to inform those of you listening on radio, Joy 99.7 FM, that of course will be going off, so you'd have to switch over to the Joy News channel. We have fortunately been giving some extra time to deal with the vexed martyrs. And we'll be taking a short break. When we get back, I'll ask Ras Mubarak and all those on about the dynamics, the figures. John is now dealing with 98.9%, but beyond the figures, will he win the 2024 elections? You're watching The Probe. We have a Walk with Jesus on radio for those of you listening to Joy 99.7 FM, and we'll get on with the conversation, part 2, after this. Thanks for staying with us here on the Joy News channel. This is The Probe. Will John Mahama win the 2024 elections? Let's get to it now. Ras Mubarak, let me start off with you. You've been listening to the conversation, and I'll come to Antonio because there are a number of questions to be addressed. And then we have a candidate who also unseat an incumbent who will hear his story shortly. But let me start off with you, Ras. Your take on John Mahama's percentage, 98.9%. In 2016, you did something unique. You all endorsed John Mahama for that elections. And, of course, we know the results and what happened. Why repeat the same thing?
Well, the numbers were surprising. You know, the grassroots of our party are clearly yearning for John Mahama to, win the presidency. And I'm confident that the elections would go our way in 2024. You obviously could not compare the circumstances of 2016 or 2020 to 2024 elections. The dynamics would be different. The candidates, aside the NDC's candidates, would be different. More than likely, it's going to be Alan or Baumia, and both of them are quite inexperienced when it comes to being at the helm of affairs as president. And given the enormity, given the challenges that the country is facing, we can't risk bringing another person who is inexperienced about governance, who has never been president before, to lead us out of the mess we find ourselves, especially if these two people, either Baumia or Alan, were deeply part of the problem. Members of the economic management team, they touted the credentials of Dr. Baumia severally to Ghanaians, and clearly we all can see that it was nothing but froth. It was nothing but just an opportunity to be there because John Mahama was president, and it's been a monumental flop for them. John is the candidate to beat. The 2024 elections is ours to lose. Certainly a day is a lifetime in politics. And the fact that Ghanaians are yearning for us to be back in government does not mean we should rest on our oars. There's a lot of work to be done. We would have to go out for every vote, up and down the country. The party is obviously, undoubtedly united. 98.9% is a huge margin. That is over. The internal elections are behind us. The task ahead of us now is to be able to sell our message quickly to the Ghanaian public, and beyond selling our message quickly to the Ghanaian public, actually go out there to get the votes. Mistakes were made, obviously, in previous elections, and I believe by now we've learned those mistakes, and those mistakes will not reoccur in the upcoming elections in 2024. But I'm very confident that we will emerge victorious, in the next national elections. And certainly, with John Mahama as president, he comes to the table with enormous experience. He comes to the table with a lot of competences. He comes to the table as a man who is deeply patriotic about our country. He's running not for himself, but when your country is in the doldrums, it requires for you, to put yourself up for election, whether at the local level or at the national level. And that's exactly what President Mahama is doing. He's the one sitting on the bench and saying, "Hi," absorbing himself, once again to the people of Ghana.